And welcome back, everybody. I'm the Doc Bob Lee, and our next guest is a lawyer, believe it or not, a lawyer, songwriter, and producer. And he joins us to speak about how he's got into the music industry and, more importantly, to highlight his album, Choose Life. Remember that, Choose Life, and the important message behind it. So please welcome to the show, Derrick D.Y. McDaniel. Derrick, welcome.
Hey, how you doing, sir? Thank you for having me.
Derrick, what does the D.Y. stand for?
You know what? The DY is more of a family thing. The My mom used to call me D,
Yeah.
and so it was always D. Why did you do this? D. Why did you do that? D. Why? And a little cousin came over one time, and she was like 2 or 3, and so she thought it was DY. She thought my name was DY, and so she started calling me that, and it became like a kind of a family joke. And so it's one of those things that my mom passed away
Yeah.
several years ago.
God bless
It
her.
always reminds her. Well, yeah,
Yeah,
thank
God
you.
bless her.
So every time I hear that, it actually reminds me of her and it makes me smile.
Oh,
So
that's a beautiful thing. Mom is always with you, Mom's with you every step of the way, always.
absolutely, absolutely.
So
So
you have a number of things that you've come through. Of course, you're a lawyer. You got the MBA, um,
yeah.
and you got a couple of degrees behind you. And then what made you switch off and say, hey, you know what? I want to do the music thing.
Well, you know what? It was mine has been an interesting journey. I definitely I have the law degree. I have the MBA. I was blessed enough to work on Wall Street for a few years. But the music is really where my passion is.
Mm.
I was blessed to do well in my career, but I've never felt as comfortable or as I don't know as comfortable and as focused as I am when I'm in the studio.
Yeah.
So it was the way to go.
And that's a good thing too, because you know a little bit about the business. A lot of artists, they come into this game and they don't know too much about the business. They just want the bragging rights of signing with a record company and saying, "Hey, I got a big deal." But you know business, and you're a lawyer, so you can handle most of the stuff yourself.
I I might be able to, but I've been really fortunate. My lawyer, Jan Walden, shout out to Jan Walden.
Yeah,
He's been in the music business for the last 25 years. He came up in Bad Boy.
yeah.
He's worked with some of the biggest artists out there. Some of his current clients are like Rottweiler. He does work for Cardi. So I'll leave the lawyer stuff to him, but at least I can understand the stuff that
Exactly,
he does.
exactly. And
So
so you'll know the deal. So tell us a little bit more about yourself and where you're from and how you got into the music industry.
Well, okay. I'm from New York, up in the Bronx. Uh, so that's home, always has been, always will be, absolutely. Um, I spent several years living in Brooklyn, so that's familiar ground to me as well. Shout out to Bed-Stuy, and
Ah, do or die.
uh, absolutely, absolutely. So it's changed, but it's still the same. So that's uh, that's really where my New York roots were. But
Yeah.
my mom was in the military, and so we traveled around the world, and that was also good for me. I got to see how other people live and how other people think and move. So and all of that has influenced me as a person and definitely as an artist.
Synesthesia. What is it? Tell us all about it.
You know what? That's a really fancy word somebody told me, but it really just comes down to mean that the way other people see colors, that's really how I hear sound, and that's how I put together words and beats because they just sort of match to me. So it's like frequently when I'm speaking to people, for example, frequently when I'm speaking to people and we're working on music and stuff, I'll say something sounds light or sounds dark to me. And so that word really just means that I sort of hear the way other people see colors.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, so
And that's the way it is, but you know how to analyze it. You know how to pick it apart.
so far it's been going pretty well. It's been going pretty well. Yes. So
Good.
I mean, when you listen to a beat, it has to be able to work together, pretty much the way someone would put together an outfit or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So the beats have to go together, the lyrics have to match. Being able to find that way to deliver a line, and just so that you sort of ride that beat. Well, it's the same way as, I guess, a person would paint a picture
No, I
and be
get it.
able to put it all together. Yeah.
Yeah, I get
So,
it.
but for
So,
the record, I can't paint it all.
so let me move on. You got this record called Choose Life. How did you choose
Yes.
that? And what was the reasons behind it?
You know what? Choose Life is really an anti-suicide song, and it's a really upbeat, up-tempo track. But honestly, it came from a very sad place. A very good friend of mine and business mentor actually committed suicide, and that really took me off center as a person, because he pretty much had everything that I ever wanted in terms of the business
Yeah,
side.
yeah,
And fast forward a couple of years when the former Miss USA uh, committed suicide in Manhattan. That that was really the spark that made me write the song, because I wrote it the night that I read that she had committed suicide. And as a father of two young daughters, it's something that concerns me as a person first and foremost, and as a father first and foremost, because if you look at the statistics, which I started doing after my friend committed suicide,
yeah,
you up until very recently, suicide was the leading cause of death for kids 14 or excuse me
yeah,
18 and younger. And so as a parent, that's a terrifying sort of thing. And so I guess it hit me when the former Miss USA killed herself, and I wanted to do something as an artist so that we could start talking about these sort of things
yeah,
and start having those conversations, and for lack of a better word, start to normalize
yeah.
the
And
conversations around it.
you
So
never know what's in the minds of people, what to make them want to take the only life they're ever going to have. They can be smiling in your face and everything. You don't know what's going on behind, backstage. So,
absolutely,
yeah,
unfortunately, and as I say in the song, you don't want to use a permanent solution for a temporary problem,
yeah,
and that's really what suicide is. Because and I don't mean to minimize this at all, because you have a lot of people out there in a lot of pain. Um, but from the folks that I've talked to, most of the time, even though it may never feel like it, those are
hmm,
temporary problems. And so, there are people that you can talk to, there are resources that you can go and get some help, or to whatever tiny part this song can play in this process. Listen to the song, and hopefully it'll give you a little bit of hope, a little bit of inspiration, help you
yeah,
know that you're not alone. So that's really where the song came from.
beautiful. Where can people find more about your music and more about what you're doing and how you're doing it?
Well, you can definitely check me out on IG at DY McDaniel 16, or you can check me out on SoundCloud at DY McDaniel 16. Um, look for the website that's coming out very, very soon. Um, so that you'll be hearing a lot more about me, God willing, in the very near future. So I'm starting some collaborations with some other artists.
Uh-huh.
Uh, Mr. Stanley Brown, shout out to you. I mentioned Rockwaller. So we're as soon as we can coordinate schedules, we're supposed to do some stuff. I've also, through the grace of God, I've been invited to join the Beat Club, which is Timberland's new venture. So you'll be hearing some stuff from me.
Well, listen, thank you. Thank you for coming on and letting us hear all about what you're getting ready to do. All right,
Well, thank you
Derrick
for having me. I
D.Y.
appreciate it.
McDaniel. Yeah, Derrick D.Y. McDaniel, songwriter, producer, Choose Life.
Always. So thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You got it.
All right. Happy holidays, everybody.
You
Take
too.
care.
We'll take a break. I've got more open. Hey, it's on the way next.